What's up, guys? We're back. It's Monday or what the hell day is it? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay. Well, let me rewind that. Hold on. Let's do the countdown again. No, I'm just kidding. It's Tuesday night, and since none of us really had anything to do, we figured we have something to talk about tonight. I was talking to these guys over the last week, and I said I'm working on a series of videos. And Mike says that we should just do a live stream about it. It's fine, but we're going to do some of it here. I still have the videos in the works, but this is going to be a little bit different. Tonight, we're going to talk about the perfect, and it's subjective, the perfect 5-figure, not money, 5 action figures, Marvel collection. So we're going to go through, pick out 5 figures that we think are the ones that we would ideally have or already own. For a collection for Marvel. So the idea is if you can only have 5, these are the 5 you would get. That's kind of where we're at. So we're going to go kind of round robin style. We're going to talk about those, why we chose them, why we didn't choose others, and then we'll get your feedback in the comment section as well. And you can participate and tell us how wrong or right we are. Either way, it doesn't really matter. If you disagree with Brendan, definitely let that be known. That'd be good. He likes to be wrong a lot on a lot of things, and I'm sure he'll be wrong.
I think people who watch these streams have seen me enough to know that is just malarkey. That you don't.
To be wrong, do you have to be right at least once? I don't know. Anyway, you're just wrong. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to go from there. So that's how we're going to do this. I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you don't, that's okay too. In fact, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that. And if you really don't like the channel at all, subscribe anyways, and then you'll have future content to not be happy about. So there we go. All right.
Can we get somebody to ban Sheamus? Is there like a mod timeout?
He has to.
He'd have to do it himself.
Yeah. Sheamus, you go put yourself in the corner.
You get minus points for using the word malarkey.
No. That's a classic and needs to come back and be used a lot more.
I'm going to say that's shenanigans.
Next person says shenanigans.
It's in the same level as shenanigans. You're right.
Shenanigans. So we got John Schumacher, who's the first one here. What's up, brother? How you doing? We got Figurassic Park. Great name. William's here. Brian's here. Look at all you guys. Tully's here. You guys are rocking and rolling, man. All right, so we're going to get into this. Hope you guys are all having a good evening. Tonight's stream is sponsored by Sundrop. Because
Mountain Dew, and mine's bigger.
Mountain Dew. It's different, man. It's different. I had the Monster on the last stream, so we're going to have – I actually had Monster and Sundrop because it was a freaking 8-hour stream.
That was a long one.
I'm still recovering from that. In fact,
we committed to it. We stuck to it. We stayed the whole time.
Brendan, you and I stuck to it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Sheamus was there, and
Mike wussed out. But
Mike
was there the entire time.
Nah, you bailed. You bailed.
That doesn't count.
You didn't even say anything. You just dropped off.
No. I'm saying Kevin was there the entire time.
Oh, Kevin. Okay, Kevin. Yes.
Oh, Kevin was. Mike. You Irish goodbye. It was just I just looked up at one point and you weren't there anymore.
I was gonna say goodbye, but I was waiting for you to inhale, and you just kept going. And I was like,
I wasn't even talking at that time. I remember specifically. That wasn't even me.
Internet went out.
Making stuff up now, Freddy.
If you go back and watch the live stream,
all right.
Go back.
Come on, everybody in the chat. Does he not look like Robert England?
He's still talking. He's still talking from the last. Anyways,
I'm just saying.
It's okay, right? But and we also got. I guess before we get into the top 5 of this thing, can we talk about the statue that Mike's going to be getting? That Prime 1
Heartbreak.
I'm gonna bring that up on this.
I'm
gonna bring that up. So
this might be the most confusing thing that I've ever encountered in collecting. It really because there's been no explanation for why it costs more than some people's cars.
I just want to say congratulations. That's all.
And the really sad. Okay, so the real sad thing is I have been the only one who's really been excited. In our group, I'm the only one who's truly excited about this statue for the past whatever it was since the last video they did. 6 months, whatever. I'm like, hey, can we pause and talk about this? And I even jumped on the live stream to talk about this nobody wanted to talk about it. Like I got my 30 seconds and everybody was like, okay, let's talk about some other stuff. This is basically treated as anime by the group. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? At least I have in my little bit of hope, I'm going to be, able to buy this thing. And then the next morning somebody drops, the price on it. And you can't just.
Folks, there is an actual physical place that he carved out in his display for this piece that he's been waiting for. And then the price, and it was like, what? He's been, and the thing is, he knows that they just announced it. It's still not going to come out for like another year and a half. And he was going to be blocking that single space out for the next year and a half just for that piece. And now he just has one of those, just a single tear rolling down the cheek.
You should totally get one of those tattoos there in remembrance of this tattoo.
Yeah. Talking about first world problems, I can't buy my $14,000.
It's not die cast. Like, honestly, I'm genuinely trying to wrap my head around and figure out why it would cost that much. What would make it so expensive? I know that they're only making a small number of them.
You get $4 flat rate shipping on this, by the way. Just don't know.
And it shows up after Ace Ventura's had his way with the box.
After they've already marked it up by like
seriously
$600 or whatever they marked it up with.
But it's not like that. The beast, whatever that she's riding, is like that was fun. Is like die cast, right? I'm genuinely baffled as to why this would cost more than a life-size Iron Man.
Is like this stuff like actual gold?
Yeah, seriously.
And the funny part is I go off on, Sideshow's reveals these like little silver, tokens that are worth 5 times the weight in silver. And I mean, this is obscene. So anyways, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Congratulations. I'll say congrats to those who will get it, because
at some point I would like clarification from Prime One, from some retailer, somebody, as to like why it actually. I doubt Marcos is going to be carrying that piece, but like what? I don't know. I've never been that confused when it comes to the pricing for a collectible. Never.
It's pretty redonkulous in my opinion, but it is what it is. So anyway, we talked about it. Let's move on to the next thing, which is the top 5, our personal 5 Marvel figures that we have to have in the collection. So who wants to go first? You want to volunteer? Brendan?
Yeah.
Brendan actually, I could see in his face.
Right here.
Okay.
Marvel, you have to walk us through your thought process, though.
Why?
List.
So my whole choice of my list of 5 all pulls from 3 mediums that I love and enjoy these characters through. The first and foremost being the comics, the source material that I've been enjoying since I was a kid. The second is the MCU television and films that we've been enjoying for the last decade. And the third is interactive, is video games. And so no Marvel top 5. I mean, it's all subjective, but to me, no Marvel top 5.
You're wrong, whatever it is,
can be complete without Spidey. I just don't think. I mean, Spidey is quite arguably the most popular Marvel superhero of all time. And for me, my favorite suit is the advanced suit. There are a lot that I like. The classic that came out, the Iron Spider. But when it comes to Spider-Man, I was not originally like loving this design when they first started teasing the game. And then once it came out and I saw it more and played the game, I fell in love with this to the point where it is now my all-time favorite Spider-Man suit. And now my top 5, they're not the best figures. They're not necessarily like, oh, these are the best that Hot Toys has ever made, because, this one is not going to be as posable as, say, the homemade suit, right? But it's just what I would love if I could only have 5 in my collection to represent my love for Marvel. And this guy, number 1, has to be there.
That's a solid
solid
reason, man.
I disagree with his other 4.
You actually have thought. I figured you were just going to pick like whichever ones were closest to you. You're like, oh, these are.
No. I take this shit seriously.
That's pretty good. All right, Mike, you're up, brother.
So when you said, okay, the criteria was you can only pick 5 Marvel figures, no budget limits, so you could pick Legacy if you wanted. I went through the initial, 5 Iron Men, and then I was like, no, I really like the Spideyverse, so I'll have 4 Spider-Men and 1 villain. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I pose different things and create a different scene? And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pick my 5 favorite, kind of like what Brendan did. What are my 5 favorite figures that I would want on a display? And, if it doesn't meet a certain theme, then that's okay. So my number 1 is, in my opinion, the best figure that Hot Toys has ever made. So that would be this guy right here.
Right on.
Go big or go home. Okay.
It's when you sit back and you listen to your Rogue One soundtrack and you just look at your collection, where do your eyes typically go? And this guy right here is just, I will always be happy that I got this. So
what you're saying is size matters.
Size matters.
Size matters. I agree. See, that's one of those pieces that when you initially, and I'm sure you thought about it, when you initially look at it, you're like, how the hell is it worth $1,200 or what? You're like,
yeah.
What am I? How do you explain that to the spouse? You're like, this one's $1,200 plus shipping. Like, how do you rationalize that to yourself, let alone someone else? And then you get it in your hand, you're like, yep.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I like this more than any of the Hulkbuster statues. Like, genuinely, because I do repose this about every 2 or 3 months. He's limited on his posing. Like, you can only get so creative. But at one point, I had the Iron Spider on top of him, and it's just. Yeah. I don't think that the deluxe is worth it. I have it, but I never replaced his arm. I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, so this is my number 5, and frankly, I think it's my favorite Hot Toy. So
he went big. Wow, if that was his favorite Hot Toy, then in top 5, that must be number 1. It's all down. It's all downhill.
It is, yeah.
All downhill from there. Wow, those are 2 good choices. Both of you are wrong, but I mean that's.
Are you telling me that the Hulkbuster is not in your top 5?
It's not in my top 5. It's not. It's just not. So that's okay. I do agree. I agree with Brendan on one point. You have to have a Spidey in the collection. You have to. Like, there's no Marvel. Like, you have to. Yeah.
Completely agree.
However, he chose the wrong one.
You're going Scarlet. You're going to Scarlet.
You chose the wrong Spidey, my friend, because I remember growing up that there was an animated cartoon that I watched
as opposed to the live action cartoons.
Well, yeah, in the multiverse.
Hey, you open a door, I got to walk through it.
Okay. In the multiverse, there was an animated. Listen, you stick to your videography. That's all I'm saying. In the animated universe, there was a show, and in fact, every time I see like a Spider-Man figure, I hear that voice. I don't even know who that voice actor was, but I hear that voice in my head when I see Spider-Man, and it ain't Tom Holland, and it ain't Toby, and I hear that voice. I really should look up, see who the hell it was. But anyway, so I had to go classic suit Spidey. Had to. It's everything you need. You don't need a head sculpt. Don't need one. It has the right colors on it. It's got the right freaking symbol on the back. And he pops on the shelf. As much as I love Tom Holland figures, like the Homecoming suit has coloration. I'm sorry, the tech suit has this coloration. And the Cyborg Spidey, which I know nobody likes, but I like it.
I love Cyborg Spidey.
I mean, I thought about Miles. I thought about the Miles Morales one that's currently out, but shelf presence, this kills it. And I don't think you can go wrong. You got to have a Spidey. I think he is the best Spidey you can get. So that's my opinion. So you can tell me I'm wrong, but you're wrong because you got the wrong Spidey. So,
I can't disagree with the fact that if you're going to have one Spider-Man, that's the most recognizable classic that everybody can identify with. The other ones, people are going to ask, why does your Spider-Man look that way? And then you have to talk about the Spider-Verse or the
but then they're not real Spider-Man fans.
Well, sure. So and then they should be in your house anyways. But
yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's why my wife is not allowed in this room because she doesn't know who the hell these people are. She goes, why have you got 24 of these troopers that look the same? I'm like, they're different colors.
They're all different. They all have different CT numbers.
They all have different CT numbers, and that one's blue and that one's red. So there's not.
You don't buy a bag of Skittles just to get one color.
Yes, There you go. So I'm with you on that. The Spider-Man, I was like Mike. I thought about going like all Spider-Man route because that would be really, even that would be tough to do. I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my top, and I think that'll be a good future one. Is top 5 Spidey figures.
Yeah, and then maybe top 5 they haven't made yet. That would be interesting. So, I mean, comics
that'd be a good one.
crazy, right?
Yep.
So we got some. What are you guys' thoughts on that first round? We've got Brian said Scarlet Spider for him. I totally understand that.
It's so hard choosing like a best like Spider-Man because there are just so many. I mean, I'm looking at a whole show. I've got like 20 some odd Spider-Man 6 scales.
Yeah.
There's like when you think about like Miles and then I mean if you're going to villains too, you got Venom and Mysterio, but you've got that the video game Iron Spider. There's just there's so much. I love Cyborg and Spider-Punk. It's just Spider-Man I think is the character that I feel like they've done the best overall when you look at the number of releases and the quality of the releases in that character.
Right. CJ Fool says, hey, nice thumbnail. I like that y'all had different viewpoints. Favorite suit, best hot toy, most nostalgic. We're off to a good start. So that's pretty good. Those are all. I would accept all of those. It could definitely be in a list. Like I wouldn't rule them out completely, although I think my Spidey's better than your Spidey, but that's just me. But that's anyways.
But see, it's subjective in that we're taking different approaches in that neither of us went for the Spider-Man that is the most posable.
No.
Right? Because Scarlet Spider is more posable, homemade suit's more posable, Miles is more posable, but they're just ones that, like I said, for me, that pulls in the video game and the comics, and it's great. For you, you've got that absolute classic, iconic iteration of Spidey that people always recognize, and then there was Mike.
And then there was Mike. And then the best Tom Holland Spidey is the upgraded suit.
Oh, by far, yeah.
Like with that head sculpt and everything.
Yep.
But I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with this.
Exactly.
All right, so you're up, Brendan. What's number 2 for you?
We'll go with. So this is not necessarily the best hot toy that Hot Toys has made of this character, and we just recently had some come out that arguably are better in a lot of ways. But for me, I needed Cap in my collection, and the 2012 time travel is really good. The Endgame is probably best as far as body proportions, articulation, overall kind of. But I went with the Civil War version of Cap because it's more closely the colors of the comics, the style of the suit, whereas the Endgame does have some things that are iconic to like the comics, but is a much more muted color palette. And I just love I just love this figure. The head sculpt's not as good as the Endgame ones. And the Endgame ones are, I think, a little bit better to pose. But this was also one of the first Hot Toys that I ever got. I think this was like the second or third. I got this, Deadpool, and A New Hope Obi-Wan were like the first 3 that I got. And so this one holds a special place for me. I love it. I love the color scheme. I loved the movie and just the suit in the movie. So for me, if I only have one Cap, it's going to be this one.
There you go. All right. In the chat, your favorite Cap figure. Put it out there. Let's see what you guys are thinking about that. But I own that Civil War Cap. When it first was released, I bought it, and it came in, and that was my first ever Captain America as well. I got that, and I got the Mark 46. They came out about the same time. And I agree. A pain in the butt to pose, like that figure. That and the strike suit one.
Yeah, the ankles and the knees weren't the strike suit might be the worst.
Strike suit's the worst posing Cap ever. It's ungodly bad.
Yeah, but
And the
yeah,
proportions are ridiculous. But
and that's the thing. The 2012 and the other Endgame cap, like those are and the concept art, those are so much better for posing than this one, which is kind of funny because the concept art technically it's from the same movie, Civil War.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said,
I
I love the colors.
Like he had shoulders and had,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm with you on that. All right, Mike, you're up, man. Did you?
Yeah, I completely disagree. By the way, I think Endgame cap is just that's the cap. But
Oh, so he's wrong twice.
Yeah, he's wrong twice. Yeah, if you're gonna get one cap, you have one cap. I'm sorry, but that's one of those like you tie to the movie, the scene. When he's strapping that shield back on his wrist and he's facing down the entire army. Just can't go.
So
wrong.
what you're saying is you're a fan of strap-ons.
Only seeing other people strap it on.
That's what you're saying.
So I guess I should have made this my number 5. I went with my own the Spider-Man that I wanted in my collection, and I struggled with this probably the most for the reasons that you guys already covered. I have the affinity to the classic Spider-Man. I do really like the advanced suit Spider-Man. Love the Tom Holland sculpt, but I really thought back and I said, okay, what's the one that I just like looking at the most? And the one I like looking at the most is Scarlet Spider. So the colors on it are great. It's, super posable, and it's just, this is my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think that this will probably be my favorite Spider-Man, even with all the other ones that, they've made and are likely to make. This is my favorite Spider-Man.
Also, the Scarlet Spider's name, Ben Reilly.
Ben Reilly, yeah. The colors on that, if you guys haven't seen that figure in person, that teal on the vest is unbelievable. I've got mine over there reading the newspaper. It's and the proportions are like, that is not teenage Spider.
No, that is like just had some muscle milk, just did a couple cycles. That is
him and Concept Cap went to the gym and
right, exactly.
They had shoulder day. And it's posable as hell. Toe articulation.
Oh yeah.
The suit material is unbelievable. Why didn't they use that suit material on every Spider-Man? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, whatever. But that's a good choice, man. And there is, if I remember correctly, there is well, it's not for that figure because that one's different. I was going to say it was a third-party head sculpt, but that's for the advanced suit one. I guess you could switch them. I don't know. But
he comes with a donut.
And a pizza box. Did he come with a pizza box?
Coffee.
Pizza box, coffee, the camera, the donut. Yeah. Scarlet Spider, I think he came with more than any others.
Yeah, he was the first one to come with that web that they like to use everyone now that has like the hand grip on it. He was the first thing. Yeah, he was the first one to come with that web, which is kind of cool. The pizza box with the stains, the grease stains in the box. Camera.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I still think you're wrong though, because this is the better Spidey, but that's all good.
The pizza looks delicious.
Yeah, except somebody took a slice.
Pac-Man.
So I once again am going to say that Brendan is wrong on his choice because that's how it is.
He went with Cap. Concept.
Endgame. You have to.
I love it. I do.
I know why you chose the one you chose. You just chose poorly, as far as the Indiana Jones.
Have you been watching The Last Crusade recently?
Yeah, you chose poorly. Look at this. Look at it. It's flipping beautiful, man. I mean, tell me. I know you're in comics. I'm just saying, but tell me when Cap had that freaking hammer fly across the screen and he grabbed it. Tell me you didn't just want to punch somebody and jump out of your
Oh, I did. I actually did punch somebody. That guy did not have a good theater going experience, let me tell you. But no.
He got hit by the hammer.
See, you know why it's easy for me to choose the Civil War cap over the Endgame cap hot toy?
No.
Because I have the half-scale Queen Studio Endgame cap coming later this year. So I don't need the hot toy for that.
Get out of here with that. Get out of here.
I'm just saying.
We're talking about 6-scale figures, you jerk. The suit material, and he's actually somewhat posable. Yeah. And you can get, but the muted colors on it. I had the D23 exclusive cap. This one's far superior to that one. That came out way earlier, but it's just the head sculpt's unbelievable. You get mouth interchangeable helmets and mouth plates, and you get the hammer, and you get. I'm telling you, if I don't know, that just wins it for me.
I really wish they would reissue the first Avenger cap.
Me too. I really do.
Give us because and I mean that's what I know. There's like the debate about reissues and stuff, but here's the thing: from like an engineering perspective, that figure sucked. Like it doesn't hold up. So this would be call it a 2.0 or whatever, but like redo that cap the right way. And because it's night and day when you compare the sculpt, the body, the tailoring, everything to what we have today. So that would be one I would love for them to redo.
I'd like to see a reissue of the Golden Age cap from Winter Soldier. I'd like to see that one.
I think Winter Soldier and I think everything prior to Civil War, I'd be okay with them redoing because they weren't nailing it back then.
Well, I don't. This is I'm dropping some news right here. So if you guys want to write this down, this is straight up news from my source overseas. So just take this for what you want. They're getting ready to reissue the in-game Loki. So just throwing that out there. we got a reissue coming. So the
reissue is going to come out before the issue.
Exactly. So don't be salty when you see it. It's I'm just a messenger. But yeah, it's Linda says Star Spangled Man is so unique. Bad knees and ankles, but so unique. I agree, it is unique. But
yeah,
if I had to have one cap, and this you could have 5 caps in your list, it doesn't matter. And like you guys said, the concept art cap has the best body.
Oh yeah, it's
by far.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's awesome.
And if they did the concept cap body with this suit, I mean, it would.
If they made that's another thing. If they could make the concept cap again, but in full color, I would buy the hell out of that too.
Which is crazy because that concept cap goes for like $200, which is so underrated.
I don't understand why it was up there for a while. Like it got expensive for a while, and then it came crashing down. I think after Endgame cap, maybe I don't know. CJ Fool did that Endgame cap have problems with the faceplate not fitting properly? I never had any issues. I don't know. I don't know of anybody who did, but that doesn't mean that they didn't. Just means that I don't care enough to know if they did.
No, I mean, there's Tully says it's probably in-game Thanos, in-game Cap, Deadpool 2, Doctor Strange, any of the Spideys with Tom Holland unmasked head sculpt. These are my favorite characters. Right on, man. That's a good list.
And that's also, and so you can tell that like for him, it's about the MCU or Deadpool, not so much, but kind of. And that's cool. Like everybody is going to have their own wheelhouse that's going to determine, which ones and their varying degrees of wrong depending on how far they are away from what I do. But that's okay.
My goodness, it's going to be a long night. All right, so that's 2 rounds down, 3 to go. All right, Mountain Dew man, you're up. Let's figure out where you're wrong with it. Look, he's probably going to say like Batman. That's what he's going to say.
No, so again, my love of the comics and the MCU. We have to have Iron Man. And for me, I went back and forth a lot between the Mark 7 and the Mark 85. The Mark 85, I think, is probably my overall favorite just because of the art style being very similar, to a lot of the older classic ones and the Alex Ross style. But for me, I wanted something that both felt classic to the comics, but also classic to I think probably most important movie in the MCU besides that very first Iron Man movie, which is the Avengers. Because if that movie didn't do well bringing all those characters together, I don't think it would have gone anywhere after that. And so for me, I went with the Mark 7. I think you get great value. I love the visual style of it. I love the colors. It's very posable. And I really, really dig it. And I remember loving the design when I went to see the first Avengers movie. And so this just barely edged out the Mark 85 for my top 5.
Wow. That's see, Mark 85 wasn't even a consideration for me. So I'm curious that it was one for you. But the Mark 7 is, yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's probably the most iconic of the MCU armors.
Is it fair? Yeah, you like the matte paint on that one?
Yes.
I like the matte paint.
I really, really, really do. I love this.
And I have all the battle damage parts on mine.
And to be honest, I love the Mark III too. The original movie Iron Man armor. I love that. I have that in quarter scale. I would love to get a die cast Mark III because I would love to have that in my collection. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Mark 7, that whole finale of the Avengers movie, man, this is just it's just amazing.
Pod mode and the whole thing. Yeah, it's
although
its value.
The pod mode is like, I don't know who would ever display it that way.
People that want to.
Yeah, I guess. And it's such a pain to get into that mode that it's not like you're just going to go do that for, some photos or something and then go back. It's like, no, it's a nightmare.
John says, can't go wrong Mark 7, but you're wrong again. Mark 85 was the correct answer.
I love the Mark 85. It's a, like you said, it's a really good blend of the modern like Extremis nanotech and the classic earlier Iron Man armors that Alex Ross paints and I absolutely love. Yeah. But again, I'm pulling from what I love from the comics, what I love from video games, and what I love from the MCU. And I think the Mark 7 it really hits that original 2012 Avengers movie nostalgia for me.
Yeah. Let's see here. Funny, I would have gone to obscure camo cameo background concept. Right on. This is interesting. The Mark 7 is classic. I love the Sub-Zero and the Stealth. I have the Stealth version. I almost bought the Sub-Zero last week, but I have the Stealth version. It's plastic, but it holds up still today.
Yeah. I had the Stealth version pre-ordered way back when it was first coming out, and then I ended up canceling it before it shipped.
Yeah. Even in plastic, it's not the same.
But you can tell the difference, but it's still the thing. Like the Mark III quarter scale is not die cast, right. But it still looks amazing. So
Linda says, "Love Mark 46." It was my first Iron Man. It was also my first Iron Man. I don't understand the hype around it. I don't get when you look at the engineering of that particular figure versus what we're getting even in the Mark 7 and today. Like the engineering build of the Mark 46 is subpar. It's like it needs a reissue of the engineering side of it, but people like it, so I understand. Mike, was Brendan right or wrong?
Yeah, this one pains me. It pains me because, like Brendan, I was going back and forth between the Mark 85 and the Mark 7, and I decided on the Mark 7.
Wow!
So, wow! The fact that I am agreeing with Brendan. It makes me really question my judgment.
Oh, man. Pretty soon you're going to be voting blue?
Not likely. But, the funny thing is this was my first Iron Man. This was actually the first figure.
Never forget your first.
Yeah, exactly. It was the first one I received from Sideshow. I mean, I had ordered the Ahsoka and the Rex and stuff beforehand. And I had actually picked up the Iron Spider at a local comic book shop. But the Mark 7 was the first one.
Oh, so you got this well after it was released.
Oh yeah. No, I was one of those 9,000 people who said, which Iron Man should I buy? And the answer is always Mark 7. Yeah. But again, I do think that this is the perfect blend between comic book appearance versus MCU. So I think it works with, one day in this alternate future where they start releasing comic, based figures, this will still be able to be with that collection. So yeah, I think that the accessories are great. I think that the options of it are great. I think the engineering's great. And even though the battle damaged 85 has the iconic snapping scene that anybody will recognize, I think that this is more timeless. So I agree. Mark 7.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I understand. Joe Mama says his favorite is Mark 6. Wait, no Mark 46. I understand. They need to redo the Mark 3 and diecast. I agree.
Yes.
Brian, I've got a lot of Mark 7 fans in here, and you guys know how much I love Mark 7. I bought it 3 times.
Yeah, right.
I did. I bought it 3 times. Now, it's not, the USPS decided to lose one of them and whatever, but I bought it 3 times.
I do think that there's a better than average chance that we will get a Mark III diecast at some point. I mean, for one, that's the well that Hot Toys will always go back to, because even though people will complain, oh, it's another Iron Man, they sell a crap ton of them. So it's, and we're getting a Mark I, coming up soon. So I would, they're willing to go back to that original movie. And, they've got to put out, I think there's a quota of a certain number of Iron Man figures that they have to do every year. So why not go back and do the Mark III? I mean, we're getting the Mark V, reissue. We're getting the suit up Mark V.
Oh yeah.
They want to go back to that well and do Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. So I feel like there's a good chance that we'll get a Mark III diecast at some point.
Which brings me to, I guess I'll do I don't have these in particular order, but I have an Iron Man figure as well. And I love the Mark V. The Mark 7. I love the Midas, the Mark 21. Unbelievable shelf price, which is essentially the Mark 7 just dipped in gold.
Gold, yeah.
The Mark 85 Battle Damage, as much as I love that one, it is beautiful. It's great. It did not make the list. This is going to surprise you because I don't actually own this figure. So I'll put it on the screen. I'm going to Mark 1. Yeah.
But you will soon.
Yeah, well, I'll own it soon. And this was the beginning of the MCU. Well, I mean, it was the start.
It's literally the first Iron Man suit.
It's
that we saw on screen.
And it's somewhat comic relevant if you go back to the OG. Somewhat comic relevant. I had to go Mark 1. And I think this is going to be an unbelievable release when they ever do actually release it in the year 2029. Expected to ship April of next year. So
that was one where, like, when they put it up for pre-order, they're like, this one it's like 2.5-3 years, like from the start.
Like, we were thinking about making this, and here we go. But yeah, this is that was my thoughts on this. And
USB power.
Well, USB power for the pump. Is it USB power for the lights as well?
I thought so, but maybe not.
If not, then that's just an epic fail. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm
gonna get it anyway.
Yeah. But it's just like Hot Toys. If anything comes out of the Queen Studios competition, is that Hot Toys will fix the stupid, batteries and lights and just make everybody have a little plug on the foot or something to power these lights.
I don't know, because 3.0's been doing light up features better than Hot Toys for years, and Hot Toys is still not really.
They haven't even bothered to work on that. But I think the Mark 1 is just it. I agree that the Mark 7, if somebody walks into your collection room, they're going to say that's flipping Iron Man. I get that. This one, they might go, what the hell is that? I understand. But I'm not building a collection for anybody else. I'm building one for me. And I know what.
True story.
Yeah. I think I won this round. Not Brendan. Not.
How did you chose the same figure? How do you?
My delivery was more compelling.
Oh, you had a better backstory. Right. A better backstory.
Once again, Mike is confused on who won.
We're gonna go back. Well, look at you. How did I not win that round? I mean, I could have chosen the Mark. I got Blaze over there, but oh man, you guys are killing me.
I think it's more because that Mark 1 could very well steal it for a lot of people, but that Mark 1 is not out yet, and I don't think there are a lot of people who have that original one. There a lot of collectors came into it after that. That's an older release, and not that many people have that figure that I know of.
I've never even seen it.
Yeah, the only person I know who has it is Justin. That's it.
That's cool. Based on the fix I own, I'm going to Infinity War Thanos, Whiplash, Iron Man Mark 85, War Machine Mark 4, and in-game Cap.
Those are
Except
those
for the
are good.
Whiplash. Like, I can't really support the Whiplash.
I own Whiplash.
I
and
love that Whiplash figure, dude. The 2.0, like was it the Toy Fair exclusive that they did?
Mhm.
It's a really good figure.
The head
It-
sculpt is great. I
And
like
it's got a
that.
lot of presence. It does.
It's a pain in the ass to pose, but it does.
Yes.
Look nice.
Yeah, no, I like the head sculpt. I think that one's just for me tainted by a film that I just did not enjoy. Sorry.
Yeah.
We got Black Widow.
Yeah. To me, the mark.
She did the posing thing where she did flip the hair.
Well, that's the thing.
Sorry.
Like, that's a perfect example though, because a lot of people did not like what they did with the character of Taskmaster, but that figure still looks so good that you can take that and just be like, this is just my comic book Taskmaster or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be tied to or at least for me, I'm able to divorce the movie from the character and the design if I like the figure enough.
To be fair, that is my favorite. The Whiplash scene is my favorite scene from Iron Man 2. I mean, if I could have a 1/6 scale,
The racing one in Monaco.
Yeah, if I could have an F1 car, two of them, because one of them would have to be cut in half, and then the suit up. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think that you could do a great scene out of it.
Are you getting the suit up?
Yeah, I have both. I have the suit up and the Mark V.
I'm not getting the full Mark V. I'm just getting the suit up because the Mark V is not. I know, like Lael, it's like his all-time favorite suit. I don't really dig the suit, but I like the suit up version, so I'm getting that one.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Gotta have it. It's once again you're wrong. Just don't either, but
So
it's your own collection, and you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Click what you like, except if I don't.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. You can say whatever you want, but if you disagree with me, you can't say it.
All
right, Brendan, you're up.
All right, so we're on number 4. Here's the thing. I cannot have a Marvel collection without mutants being represented. I need my X-Men, and there are precious few of these. You can, if you want to go to like Sideshow pieces or, third party like Social Toys, that Gambit is probably one of the best of any. It definitely is one of the best X-Men we've ever gotten. But for me, it's got to be
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past,
Yeah.
Logan. This figure, it's not perfect in that it's flexible and the material makes it very posable. The legs are a little bit weak, so it takes a little bit. The ankles and the knees are a little on the weak side. But I love the head sculpt. I love the actual metal claws that aren't some stupid little clip-on thing that falls off all the damn time. It's posable. It's great sculpt, and while it definitely departed from the Days of Future Past storylines in the comics, I still thought that the movie was very enjoyable. And I loved Hugh Jackman in the role. And I think this is better than any of the other ones. It's better than like the one that they did from the Wolverine or like the Origins movie.
Didn't exist.
Talk about that. I know. But yeah, I love this. And he also looks really good in a display with like Deadpool, with the Toys era, the Steel, the Colossus that they made. So yeah, I had to have X-Men. I grew up reading X-Men first and foremost as a kid, so I had to have Logan in there.
Right on, man. That's a solid choice. That's one Wolverine figure I've not owned, but that is a very sought after figure, actually.
Yes.
And I guess because of the proportion, the suit's not iconic, so I guess the head sculpt, I'm not sure what it is about that.
No, the suit's not. It's the best head sculpt that they did out of the ones that they did of Hugh Jackman. And then it's also, the metal claws is super posable, even though like I said, the leg joints can be a little bit weak. So it takes, you definitely want to use a stand when you can. But it's just it's the character of Wolverine that people love, and we don't have Hot Toys is just not doing classic comic book stuff. All we're getting for that is Sideshow or which has design flaws, and I own them, but they're not perfect, or third parties, but third parties aren't really doing much with him right now. So if you want a cool Wolverine, that's like your best bet.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite Hugh Jackman Wolverine scene? Because I have one. And I'm just curious what yours is.
My favorite scene?
Yeah, well, yes, Hugh Jackman Wolverine scene. Do you have a favorite that maybe from that film, since you like that film?
Actually, I kind of like the one from First Class, where Magneto and Xavier walk up to him in the bar, and he's just like "F off," and then they just okay, and they just walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot that I really like. I don't think I have any one like favorite scene.
Like Berserk mode from
X2. I kind of like that actually. That kind of like early on like Berserk mode, and the fight that he had with Lady Deathstrike was also really cool.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
So yeah, probably be in those.
Cool. Mike, do you have a favorite?
Oh yeah, no. So you have to understand, I grew up with '91 Chris Claremont, first comic book I ever bought. Became a huge X-Men fan. Became a huge Wolverine fan, like a lot of people. Wolverine 75 is my favorite scene out of any Wolverine comic, where he's sitting there after he's had the adamantium ripped out of him, and they're like, oh, he's afraid for the first time, and he's still like, I'm the best that they're and pops the bone claws. Anyways, bottom line is I love Wolverine. I would love for them. Well, that wouldn't be on my Marvel collection just because for me, Wolverine needs to be the comic book Wolverine. I'm still fantasizing about Hot Toys doing that entire line. But my favorite Wolverine scene from the movies is from the worst movie, which is the very end of X3, when he is just getting, basically sandblasted by Phoenix.
Yeah.
And he's, just it's kind of that heart-wrenching moment. It's always been you, and he has to take out Jean Grey. And for me, that was the thing that I just liked as a kid, was just that, unrequited love that he had for Jean Grey and why she was that douchebag Cyclops.
Wait, so your favorite isn't when he's cutting up the toilet and the sink in Origins? With his claws,
right? Yeah, just randomly with his bone claws. Yeah, no, I mean, just I have my comics up here. Let's see if I can get this real quick. And that comic cover right up there with Wolverine, Jean Grey. It's just like, it's just classic to me. So anyways, it's a terrible film, but that one scene I just really enjoyed.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think I would love it if we got those classic designs. I don't think we're going to, because there's no direct tie-in to a movie to help fuel sales for it. They'll do that for some things, like we're getting that classic Iron Man. Okay. But they teased the classic War Machine and then never did anything with it, because I think the reception to the classic Iron Man, at least in the North American market, wasn't that hot because of like the clear plastic piece.
Yeah, don't brand it with plastic and people might get it.
Yeah. Right. I don't think they really are discerning, the reasoning there. But yeah, I think that other like third parties, and maybe like Sideshow, because they're not going to compete on the film scale with Hot Toys, then that might happen. But as far as the classic stuff, I don't see Hot Toys doing it, just because I think they want to tie everything into a TV or a film property. And there's just so much being cranked out by Marvel and Star Wars and DC that I don't think they really have time to fit in the classic stuff. So Toys, those guys, I think that's, if we're going to get stuff like that, that's where we're likely to get
Queen
it
Studios.
from.
How about you not make the 50th Batman and 50th Joker and maybe go out to some X-Men?
You're going to get a bunch of hate comments for that.
Yeah. What about
they got it? Yeah.
We distracted from.
No, you're good. You're good. No, my favorite Hugh Jackman Wolverine scene is actually not in even a Marvel movie. It's in Night at the Museum when they go to England. You know what I'm talking about, right? when he goes to England and they
Oh,
run-
the third Night at the Museum movie. Yeah.
the night when he was in there and he was on the stage and he's like he did the thing, goes, "Ah!" And the girl goes, yeah, he's doing his Wolverine thing. I freaking love that, man. It's freaking brilliant. That's
Yeah.
my favorite Hugh Jackman Wolverine scene ever.
Tremble Dust, yes, Rogue is in the works from So Toys.
Yes, it is. But I love Logan is I can watch Logan all the time. Freaking,
it's
a great
black
movie.
and white though. Got to be black and white.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, that the black and white scene, and then when he's burying Xavier.
Oh,
I mean,
Logan Noir. You gotta
Logan Noir.
Logan
It's
Noir.
unbelievable. So, but,
It's a very, very well done movie. Yeah,
it really
so that
is.
was that his
That
fourth?
was Brendan's. You're up next, Mike.
that was my fourth. Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
mine's not going to have nearly as much, background or discussion. So the last
That's
two
okay.
I have, I
You can be
don't
wrong,
know.
too.
I probably will buy this at some point in the near future because, if I'm buying these Boba Fett 2-packs and all this other kind of stuff, it's not that much more expensive than it. So my grail is Yondu. I love that figure. I think it's
Good piece,
the best head sculpt that they've ever put out. He's Mary Poppins, he's just. I would love to have that in my collection.
yeah. I need to pick that one up too. It's
Well, you
just
suck
it's stupid
because-
money right now.
That's also on my list. Yondu is also on my list.
That's the first time that we've had. And
It's like a Venn diagram, we have Venn diagram.
oh no,
down
wait,
here.
we had the Mark 7s. Okay, so
Well,
now
you two did, and now me and Brendan got to agree on something, which
Yeah.
probably won't.
You
but-
need to get like the Triforce.
I
going.
guarantee you it's not happening.
No, it's not happening.
'Cause there's one
yeah,
left.
Yondu-
That's not gonna-
The Yondu character, the story arc of Yondu adds to that, but the figure is so well done. It's just
The sculpt is
the deluxe.
it's
You gotta have
perfect.
the long jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, just
There was that one posing by Peter did where he has Yondu walking with Quill listening to the headphones, kind of dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, just perfect.
yeah. Here's the problem with Yondu, and it's really with all these characters. I think we've done so good so far. Is if you get Yondu, you're going to want the rest of the Guardians. That's the problem. I guess not really a problem, but it's a.
I don't know. He's so badass on his own. I think you might be okay just having him.
It may be at least him. Maybe him and Rocket like side by side, maybe or something.
Yeah, you could do absolutely. You could have just him and Rocket or him and Quill, and I think you'd be okay.
Yeah. But those are both good. So Mike, that's a good choice. Good job. Brendan, you were wrong again, but that's fine. You're used to it. So last round 5.
You both have the same one, yeah.
Look at this. Brendan won that round. You guys, Seamus, break out the band hammer. What do we got here?
Seamus fell asleep because we're not talking about DC.
Yeah, Yondu guys. The price on Yondu is like Mike said, it's the price of a Boba Fett 2-pack. It's it's the price of upcoming Iron Man figure or something like that. It's not great.
The next stream, by the way,
but it's not like that damn Final Fantasy statue. It's not $14,000.
I now have some money, just sitting around that was going to
actually, yeah, you do. No, you're just gonna buy watches. The next stream that we do is we're gonna have Seamus on, and it's gonna be we're all gonna list our 10 favorite things about Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Oh God. I got hugged by an eagle.
Dad, take a picture. Yep.
Oh, I
Freedom.
want to watch that series again, man. That's so good.
Oh yeah.
That was so much better than Book of Boba Fett.
Dude, I gotta tell, I have the song on my phone, so whenever I just have random on and it comes on, man, I lower all the I don't care if it's 5 degrees out. I lower all my windows. I crank it up, and I'm just like, yes, this is great. I don't care where I'm. I don't care if I'm driving by a church. I'm cranking it.
Seamus is just going to terminate the feed.
Yeah,
right.
He doesn't have that power.
He's going to report us. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. The brown suit Mondo Wolverine goes for $500 on eBay. Pass. If you've ever held a Mondo figure, you would not pay $500 for one.
Yeah, I've never been a Mondo collector.
I can appreciate the suit, but no. All right, we're on the last one, number 5, Brendan. Let's see where you're wrong.
Well, Mike went big to start. I am a big finisher. So, I mean,
he's
really,
taking out the
it's
one-to-one
just-
child.
you just
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
All right.
now this bad boy. This is the original 2012 Avengers Hulk. I know there are a lot of people who love the Age of Ultron one and Ragnarok, the Gladiator Hulk. I love the Gladiator one. It's just I wanted something that was classic Hulk. It didn't have like the paint and the all the armor and everything like that. And this is the closest to the classic comic book Hulk. The coloring on the Age of Ultron one is has like a little bit of a yellow hue to it, and I'm just not as big of a fan. Plus, this has like the torn pants that actually covers the knee joints pretty well. The sculpt looks great. It's posable. It's got such presence. And I didn't go with any villains in my my top 5, just because I mean there's precious few, but there's like Thanos and Venom, which is a great one. But I figured, well, I wanted something where I could be like, this is like an Avengers team, but also they could all be fighting Hulk because they all have at some point, as well as fighting each other. So it's like I don't have villains, but you could still have kind of versus kind of things. But if you did, it would be like Wolverine versus Hulk. That's happened. Cap, Iron Man, all of them. And yeah, this dude he's got serious presence, nice, big, beefy figure. And yeah, I love it.
Dig it, man. That's a great figure. I like the Age of Ultron one only because it has that swap out.
The swap out torso, yeah.
But I agree on the coloration. I agree on that.
Yeah, it's just got this like, I don't know. It's just this weird yellow hue to it that threw me off, and it turned me off of getting that one.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, you're wrong, but it was a good choice.
That's right.
All right, Mike, you're up. Last one.
Okay, I'm prepared for people to tell me I'm wrong on my last one. So,
oh goodness! All right, he's breaking out a Black Widow figure.
Yeah, no. So I needed a villain
okay.
for mine, and you go back through the comic book franchises that I read as a kid. Each one of the groups had their original villain, right? So X-Men has, or maybe not original, but primary villain. So the primary antagonist. So for X-Men, it's going to be Magneto. Fantastic Four, it's going to be Doctor Doom. And for me, when I think of Spider-Man, I just think of one villain above the others, which is Green Goblin. And so for me, the deluxe Green Goblin that's going to come out by Hot Toys with the glider, I think, is the villain that I would choose. And I kind of went back and forth between Doc Ock and Green Goblin, but when you just think of the impact that Goblin had on Spider-Man's entire arc in the comics and things like that, and frankly, even in the movies, I think that was the right choice. I think having Scarlet Spider fighting the Green Goblin, I mean, the colors on that would just be fantastic. So that's what I went with.
That's a solid choice. That's a good choice.
I really hope they do the one from No Way Home with toward the end with the purple, the purple hoodie and stuff. I really hope that they put out that one.
The homeless goblin.
Yeah,
right. The Goblin versus the Hobgoblin kind of look to it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but even the Green Goblin in the comics often has a purple hood.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love if we got a Goblin that had that purple hood and a swap out like a Willem Dafoe head sculpt. So
one that looks better than the one that they previewed.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that the word has been, I mean, who knows when it'll actually happen, but that is going to come at some point, and so that'd be the one for me.
Yeah.
Well,
if they don't announce that by the time this one releases, then I'll probably pick this one up. But if they do, then I'll probably skip this one and wait for that one.
To be fair, though, the decision that I had to make for the villain, I basically had to choose between Doc Ock, Venom, Carnage, Goblin.
Do you have Venom? Do you own the Venom figure?
I'm going to get the reissue when it comes out. That's a good problem to have, right?
Or you just take
finally
Kevin.
have some villains for the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, 100%.
Because right now my Spider-Verse is fighting War Machine Punisher behind me, and that's not,
Yeah.
You don't have Mysterio?
I have Mysterio, but he's alone with the Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got these guys. So we got to have another Goblin coming. Got to. I mean, they're giving us Electro.
See, I was talking about this with Lael last night. I was like, I don't understand what Hot Toys continues to do this. I don't want to see a tease like meme thing like this. Like, I want to see it when you're announcing it, when you're actually saying, okay, hey, we're making this. Here's the pre-order. Like,
I agree.
Don't tease 2 days, but like they teased Kate Bishop 24 hours before that. Just wait the 24 hours and just announce. Like, I don't understand why you had to put the tease up the night before.
I mean, if it was, if you put a tease up on Monday and it was like in stores on Friday, I would understand that.
Right.
Tease it one day and then announce it the next day, and then we still got to wait a freaking year to get the thing.
Yeah, it's like the tease was pointless. Like, don't do it.
And I haven't talked about this, and I'm going sidetrack here just for a second. But when I first saw this, I thought the photographer made a mistake and left something on the chin.
Oh, you didn't know that it was the bandage? Yeah.
I did. I first thought, I'm like,
the head sculpt. It was like a prototype that got damaged, and I was okay, we'll fix that.
I was like, somebody forgot to. I thought it was like a piece of styrofoam or
it's
something.
Battle
that, like,
damage.
Yeah. Oh, I know it now, but when I first saw it, so
but I'm excited for this one.
I will say that you are once again both wrong. So congratulations on both being wrong, because neither one of you picked a figure that must. I'm not even saying must be in a Marvel collection. Must, like, you. It's not complete unless you have that. All the other ones you.
If you say Shazam.
No, not Shazam. Hold on, I got him back here. He's a little further out of reach than I thought. Both of you are flipping wrong. This is the guy that must be in a collection right here. You got to have him. You can't have a Marvel collection without Deadpool.
I love my Deadpool was the first hot toy I ever got.
You cannot.
From the first movie, it was the first hot toy I ever got.
You cannot have without a saxophone playing Deadpool.
Where's the saxophone from?
It came with this guy.
Oh, it did come with it. Okay, it did came with the Bowie one.
And but I mean, I remember that comic, that book that Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, right? Yeah. That whole thing. You cannot have. Here's the thing with Deadpool: you can have him on any flipping shelf anywhere.
You can
anywhere, or by himself.
I had him with John Wick for the longest time.
You could have him You can have him on your desk, like stealing your crap. I mean, just running off. You can have him doing anything.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can't pick a character, and you can't pick a character that he hasn't had a hilarious team up or versus with in Marvel. Like, he's been on the Avengers. He's had some of his best team ups have been with Spider-Man. All right, he's had team ups with Cap and with Iron Man and Hulk and all the X-Men. And there's nobody that Hot Toys has made that you're like, oh yeah, he never crossed paths with Daredevil in the comics. Like, so yeah, I mean, he goes well with just about everything.
You gotta have it. So I think, again, respectfully wrong, because you didn't choose Deadpool. So, and I'm disappointed because I thought for sure somebody was going to say Deadpool. Somebody.
To be fair, though, it is very challenging to figure out 5 and only 5 Marvel figures.
Oh,
just like if we do this with Star Wars, that's going to be near impossible.
And it's a lot harder now than it was like a year ago.
So
my Star Wars, I've got pretty much picked out. But
I think we're going to have to do Star Wars, but I'm thinking we're going to do prequel, original trilogy, sequel.
That makes it so much easier.
We'll skip sequel trilogy, but prequel.
There were good figures out of the sequel trilogy. We're
lowering the difficulty level considerably.
Yeah,
that's obviously that'll be the easiest one, but there were good figures.
The sequel trilogy. I mean, Rey and Kylo. I mean, what else were there from the sequel trilogy?
The Luke ones were good.
From the sequel trilogy, Luke.
Yeah, Luke, the old man Luke from Last Jedi was decent.
I think I'm going to be busy during that live stream if you do the sequels.
Nah, I'm not. I mean, we got Mando. We got Disney. We can do Disney Plus. We can do that. Who knows what we're going to see with Obi-Wan or whatever. But we're going to do one of those. But this was interesting to figure out everybody's thoughts were. Hulkbuster was potentially on my list as well, but the Mark I took it for me because it just had, I don't know, had something for me on that one.
Neither of you guys had a Hulk, though. Come on, come on, you got to have a Hulk.
Yeah, but I got something that can beat up a Hulk.
Oh, did he though?
Yeah, he hasn't really ever lived up to the Hulkbuster name.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good figure though, no doubt.
Yeah.
Great figure.
We're done. We're jumping out of here because it is 10:15.
Hatchet time.
It's hatchet time. So we're out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have. If you want to list your favorite 5 in the comment section, do that after we're done. But we're out of here. Hope you guys have a great night.
Watch Moon Knight tomorrow.
Moon Knight. See you guys later.
See you guys.